Hello? Hello, I believe I'm live. Sorry if I'm a little minute late or something. Oh, I haven't plugged in my laptop, so we might run out of juice. Hang on. I just decided at the last second to make a cup of tea. So I just ran in here, spilled some tea on the microphone. There we go. Okay. Potentially inappropriate messages for review. Okay. Good stuff. Turn on? Not now? I don't know. There we go. Oh, Gail. Yes. The GoFundMe. Brian and Carmel's GoFundMe is almost at $27,000, says Gail. I know, right? Isn't that amazing? Of course, there was a part of me, because I'm greedy, that was hoping it would be at $270,000 and they could just buy their house back, but 27,000 is pretty amazing. And I haven't spoken to them. So, hi, Anthony. So, I don't know. I haven't spoken to them. I don't know what their plans are or anything like that. I can just only imagine how overwhelmed they are. And I've been getting the updates like everybody else who donated to the page from their grandson, just shocked and amazed. And how wonderful, huh? Gosh, how wonderful. Sorry if you can hear my kids yelling. They're playing the same computer game in different rooms, and for some reason you have to yell. I don't know why that is, but anyway. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly loves the intro, the acknowledgement of original owners at the start of our podcast. Thank you. I love it too. And every time I hear it now and think about it, and anytime anyone mentions it, I think about Uncle Jack, of course, specifically. And did I mention it to you guys last week? Or I know I put it in the newsletter about seeing him the other day when I was driving through Collingwood, actually driving home from a recording session with Emily, and he was standing on the corner of the street, just this, beautiful little cherub, so tiny. And he's just watching the world go by with a lovely smile on his face. And as I was driving through the intersection, I was driving slowly, mind you. So I wound down the window, with my button. He was on the other side. And I yelled out, "Hey, Uncle Jack!" And he just went, "Hey!" He smiled. I knew he couldn't see who it was. Didn't have time to see, but he just loved it. He just loves people saying, "Hey, Uncle Jack," in the street. So that was cool, because I once saw Uncle Jack Charles at the airport. I think it was Melbourne Airport. We were both obviously going somewhere. And I went up and said hello, and he didn't know who I was, and I'd never met him before. So I just went up and said, "Oh, hello, Uncle Jack. I'd just like to say hello and pay my respects to you." And he said, "Oh, yes. No worries. G'day." And it was lovely. And then I was just on my way. That was probably 3 years ago or something like that. So, because I'd never met him before, I wasn't sure if he liked that sort of thing or not. Now I know he loves it. So if you ever see him, say, "Hey, Uncle Jack." Please, he loves it. Isn't he beautiful, Anthony? Yeah. I know, right? That hopefully that amount of money will go up and up for Carmel and Brian. So Tammy says she'll donate. You've just discovered the link. Yeah, I'm sure it's still on our social media somewhere, or if you Google it, I guess. I'll remember it. GoFundMe, which is all one word, .com/Keep the Russells in Frankston. I'm pretty sure is it. I'm pretty sure that's it. Yes. Hey, Matt Lambert, how are you? I'm pretty sure I recorded a shout out to you either into the episode I edited today for this week or for next week for the podcast. Does that sound right to you, Matt? Are you due a shout out? Sorry for the slurping. Oh, there it is. There we go. Thank you. That must be Zoe. Thank you, Zoe. Zoe's just put up a link for us to the GoFundMe. Good old Zoe. God, she's a good mate. The light's a bit bright. Well, that's what we older ladies do, Matt. All right. Lots of makeup and a very bright light. Just, in times to come, there'll be Vaseline smeared across that camera as well. Just go with it, Matt. Am I familiar with the Greener murders or the Greenborough? How do I say that? Thanks, Kelly. How do I say that? Greenborough? Greener? Obviously not, but I'll Google it. Got my phone here. I'll make a note about that. If Emily was here, she'd go, yes, is that? And then she would just list the whole story. She's our encyclopedia. But no, she's not here. I believe Emily is like refereeing a basketball game or something. Something tonight. Poor Emily, she has this terrible affliction of athletically talented children. Dreadful. Fortunately, I am not afflicted. Oh no, that's horrible, Anthony. Green, and is that how you spell it? Green, and then O-U-G-H. Murders. Yeah. So Emily's, I don't know, blowing a whistle somewhere in the suburbs as we speak. Okay. Anthony, blimey. Tammy, I definitely recorded your shout out today as I was editing a podcast as well after our Patreon chat. Thank you. That was great. Yes, good. And I've got to we will figure out how to put the episodes on Patreon without ads. That's another good thing, isn't it? That would be good. A good thing for patrons. It's worth a story, says Rebecca. What, the basketball or the murders? Yeah, we must catch up with Brian and Carmel. Hey. Hi, Steph. Hey, Steph, our old mate. Are you painting tonight? Dot paintings? What are you doing? What is everybody doing? Someone was ironing last week, I remember. No worries, Tammy. Thank you heaps. Yeah, I'd love to know what you're all doing on a Saturday night. Painting, Steph, awesome. You have to send us some photos, please. Ashley, first time you remembered to tune in. Ivy Winters. Yes, that was cool, wasn't it? For the RuPaul. There's a big RuPaul Drag Race crossover with our podcast, I've realised too. More collabs with Amanda from Monsters Who Murder, please. I do love Amanda very much. Yes, definitely. And when we go to Sydney to do live shows, Amanda will definitely be doing at least one of those because I love her. Not only is she similar to Emily, I think, in that she is encyclopedic, her brain. She knows so much. But I just think she's a really great person as well. I really enjoy her company. So, yes, I would love to do more with Amanda. Good choice. And for those of you who don't know, Amanda's podcast, Monsters Who Murder, is awesome. She's a serial killer expert. She's amazing. I'm assuming she's still writing her letters back and forth to Ivan Milat, that is, as he goes about his business in his illness. The first time I met her, it's funny because there was a journalist who was giving me the shits about something, and she said, the first thing she said when I opened the door, I was staying in a hotel in Sydney and she was coming over and we were recording a podcast, and she said, oh, Ivan hates her too. I said, oh, really? Why? So, yeah, I found out that Ivan and I had a mutual dislike for a journalist, which is weird. Yeah, good to know, I guess, in a way. Coming to Brisbane, absolutely. That's what I was thinking the other day, Matt, when I read your name. I think I said it, but I don't know if I cut it out or not. You're not from up north, are you? Where the, uh, bull's balls get pinched frequently. Because I had a friend of a friend called Matt Lambert, who was a creative dude, writer. My mum, she's okay. The thumb's kind of coming back together, thanks, after the great soda stream incident. The cats, there's a cat right there, Maya, but I managed to kick all the other ones into the house. But the kittens are around, thank you. Alex caught up on a lot of podcasts today because the kids aren't home. Yes, it's a good one, isn't it? Good time to catch up on the podcasts. In fact, I was editing today, though, when the kids were home, and I had to sort of stop myself. In fact, I didn't stop myself. I thought about it, but then I was just busy. But I thought, I wonder if they're listening. It wasn't particularly graphic. It was just my intro to somebody just sort of mentioning, and then she walked in on this brutal crime scene of a bashing to death of something by, and I thought, my children are wandering around here somewhere. I should pull my head in. Steph, did you send me some photos on Instagram? How long ago was it? Because, I have to ban myself from Instagram. I'm on a ban right now. Different Matt. Okay. Yes, I used to know of a Matt from Rockhampton. Different Matt. Okay. Nicole, yes, I got it to work, Nicole. There's two different varieties of the YouTube live chat. One of them is easy. This is the one I'm using right now. And the other one, to get both Emily and I together, is a drainer for your Wi-Fi. So that's hard. So, yeah. Listen to the whole thing in 3 days at work. Nicole, what do you mean? You don't mean you've listened to 100 podcasts in 3 days at work? Surely, Nicole. Surely not. Are we doing a meet and greet at our live shows? We are, Anthony, afterwards. Yep. Yes, we will be there. After the shows. Yes. So, yes. And you don't, Nicole, you listen to 100 podcasts in 3 days? God, you would have noticed such highs and lows in terms of quality of editing. I just don't. In a way, I do want to sit down with you and have you just talk me through it. In another way, I don't. Because, look, I've experimented with a lot of things over the course, a lot of ideas that I had that I thought were good ideas at the time, and then, had it pointed out to me were not. But recently I've been having editing lessons with an excellent man called Andy Marr, who edits a lot of podcasts for other people, and he's a proper production man from radio. And a lovely, lovely man, and he's been teaching me proper editing. And so hopefully you'll see the difference. Or hopefully you won't. Hopefully you just won't notice my editing anymore. Hopefully it'll be so good you just won't even notice it as a character anymore. That'll be good. Anthony says sometimes the really raw stuff is best. Ugh. The problem was it wasn't the raw stuff. It was the stuff I'd fiddle around with too much that was terrible. Terrible. Yes, please do send your paintings to the Australian True Crime Insta account. That would be great. And I see Zoe's just given you our email address as well, Steph. That would be awesome. Thank you. I tell you what we do have coming up, Anthony, is we have an interview recorded on a phone, an iPhone, recorded by a woman who contacted us, and it's her talking to her parents about something that happened in their family. And it's just a happy accident in a way, because she was nervous about talking to me because she was nervous that she couldn't remember all the details, and her parents were nervous about talking to me for various reasons. And so she was going to go over to their house and go through the details again with them before she spoke to me. And I said, record it. Just record it and just let's just see how it sounds. And it sounds really good. And they knew she was recording and everything. It wasn't secret, but so it's actually really, really special. So yeah, that'll be out in a couple of weeks, and I can't wait for you to hear it. It's really nice. Yeah, so you're right. That's a raw one, and it's really special. Nicole says, I noticed you stopped saying don't kill anyone. Yes. I think I only said that once. And everyone got angry with me and said I was ripping off the my favourite murder one, which I wasn't. It was kind of like an homage. But nobody accepts homage anymore, do they? Everyone just goes straight to the worst, ugliest, most negative thing they can think of. So I was like, oh, okay. Okay. And when you've got a new thing, a new podcast, you just don't want any negativity around it. So I thought, oh, okay, I'm not going to fight about it. I'll just drop it. Okay. So yeah, they don't get murdered. So I wanted to kind of do a thing about, sure, but don't murder anyone either. Like just trying to be cute, but no room for cute. Anyway, you use the podcast to drown out the distractions at work. It makes you more productive. What do you do for work, Nicole? Blimey. A helpful reminder. Do you mean don't get murdered is a helpful reminder? I think it really is. That's what I like about it. I think it's like, yes, it's funny and all that, but it's like, don't, like you think about it. I mean, I don't want to bring the mood down, but I do always think, that terrible statistic about a woman a week in Australia is murdered, right? And every time I hear that, or, I just always think, gosh, who is the next woman? What is she doing right now? Does she know she's in danger? Because maybe she does. There's a lot of women who live in fear and who think maybe it will happen to them, but there's a lot of women who don't know that it's them. And I don't know. These are the things that go through my head sometimes. And so when those girls from My Favourite Murder say, don't get murdered, I think, like, I get it. I get that it's a joke, but I get that it's also, it's also kind of a serious, I think, feminist statement. That's the way I take it anyway. Call to action, take care out there. Yeah, and I really like it. I really like it for that. Anyway. I chase comm notes for a transport company, says Nicole. What does that mean? Hey, here's one of my favourite kids. Mary, please don't knock the computer down. Come here. You can come up, but you can't knock the computer. Come on, Tiny. This is a kitten I named after my mum, little Mary. But I don't know if she's going to come up or not. Anyway, processing emails, says Nicole. That's fine. I do the same thing. I'm a graphic designer, says Courtney, and she uses podcasts to block out stuff at work. Come here, Mary. Come here, sweetheart. Tammy works in a call centre. Okay. So you can't listen to podcasts at a call centre because you're listening to people, right? Yay, Christy's here. Hi, Christy. Anthony, would you consider doing more eps around that stuff, like your ep about Eurydice? Well, yes, of course. I'm working on one, definitely. I mean, it's hard, it's hard. And we did another episode about the map, the map where all the women have been murdered, and you hover over the dots on the map and it tells you what's happened there. Women and children, by the way, not just women and children. And the sad part about the map, now here she is. This is little Mary. Don't walk on that thing because look at everybody. Show everyone your beautiful face. This is Mary. Isn't she beautiful? The thing about the map, though, that's so sad is that oftentimes you hover over a dot and it says unknown woman, remains found and things like that. It's just like, oh my God, how is that even possible, you know? Yeah. So yes, yeah, we're always up for those stories. But you want it to be helpful or you know, it needs to have a point and not just be the same kind of stuff over and over, because then people stop listening and stop engaging. Mary, you can't just distract everybody. Oh, Riley says, hi, Michelle. I heard you've been going through a bit of a tough time lately. Are you okay? Thank you very much, Riley. Well, my dad, I've got a lot of great cats, which helps. My father died in March and he was very sick leading up to that. But we're pulling it together, you know, getting there. Don't believe anything you read in the Daily Mail, by the way. Georgie Gardner is a very nice person, but she didn't save my life. So if don't believe that. Mary is gorgeous, isn't she, Gail? She's magic. Mary is special. She nearly died when she was tiny, and these girls that we foster kittens for fed her with an eyedropper and kept her alive. And she's very brave. That's why I named her after my mum. Yeah, little Mary. Yeah, you can swear, Anthony. I did not notice you swear, but I'm a big swearer. So, yeah. The Claremont Killer, well, there's already a great podcast about that. So, and also, you know, it's before the courts, so there's nothing that you can really add to that at the moment. I'm sure when the case is reaches its conclusion, there'll be lots and lots and lots of extra information out about that. So we'll have to wait for that. What's this naughty girl doing? Got 7 kittens. Thank you, Steph, for sending photos through. So yeah, when cases are special guest star, when cases are, you know, before the courts, like there's nothing you can really do about them, and also you tend to know that there'll be a big rush of information that comes out. Oh, Atul wants to give me a super chat. I would love that, but we're not set up for that yet. But thank you. So yeah, I don't know how to do that, but we'll get there, mate. We'll get there. At the moment, we're just kind of hanging out for fun. But you know, it's like people always say, will you do an episode about the William Tyrrell case? And it's like, well, there's kind of nothing to do, right? No one can talk. People send us a lot of emails saying, I know something about it. I know somebody associated with it, or I've heard this rumor, or, you know, but I mean, there's nothing you can do about it at the moment, because there are just no facts. Until there's an inquest or something like that, there's nothing you can really report, right? What's that, Anthony? What's maybe more one-on-one? I think I need to thank the ex-police lady. Can't think of her name. She's made me do things differently to stay safe. Narelle? Probably Narelle. But a lot of people, you know, it's like Charlie says, Charlie Bazina says, ring 000. Always ring 000 because they log things. I didn't know that. That's really handy to know, right? You know, don't ring the local police station. They don't log every call. Did not know that. So whether it's a domestic dispute or, you know, anything that you want absolutely logged and you want there to be a record of the call that you've made, you have to ring 000. So says Charlie Bazina. Who'd bloody know? And we saw Charlie recently, by the way, recorded an episode with Handsome Charlie, and that'll be coming up for you very soon. Bit out there, but would you cover Rolf Harris? gosh, I don't even know. The murder-suicide, hang on, I've lost you. There's a lot coming through now. Vicky and Julianne, I still can't believe the police cut their hands off. God, I know what you mean. Shane, yes, Shane, wasn't that absolutely dreadful? Yes, I mean, in case you missed it, the police forgot to get fingerprints from the victims. And so on the day of their funerals, the police rolled up at the funeral home and cut their hands off and took them away and tried to do it secretly. And it only came out because the journalist was talking to a guy who worked at the funeral home, and that guy told the journalist what had happened. He'd seen it. I mean, we love coppers, but shit. I have to tell you, and we've got a story coming up shortly, but boy, having a little trouble with the old Queensland police media. And yeah. Hi, Michelle. I've learned so much from the podcast. Me too, particularly from Narelle. When we moved recently, I was making sure there was nothing on the windowsills outside. I know what you mean. The Peeping Tom stories. Bloody hell, right? Yeah, I tell you, good Lord. Okay, I tell you something I learned when I was going to South Sudan, and then there was no need to be because it was wonderful and people were wonderful. But I had to have, it's called heat training. You have to have this like special training for going into, I can't remember what they call them, something zones. Anyway, and I had training with a commando called Andy, who was awesome. And he then taught me lots of other really interesting safety tips and security tips. And one of them that I have really kept up with is when I'm staying in a hotel room, no matter where it is in the world, could be in Sydney, could be anywhere, I always pull out the ironing board and prop it up against the door, the hotel room door. And I use that as an alarm, so no one can ever get into my room when I'm sleeping without my knowing. How's that? Because I actually did have a situation once in a hotel room in Melbourne where I was sleeping, and luckily it was the morning, and I was, I don't know, just a guy just used a card and walked into my room, and he didn't mean to. He didn't know I was in there. He said, "Oh my God, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened." And then he left. But I don't know. I guess it can happen. So from now on, I always pull out the ironing board, prop it up against that door, and no one is getting into my hotel room without a very loud bang and me waking up. Thanks, Commando Andy. And you can all have that. I guess there's Bowie, the little dog. It is brilliant, isn't it? I guess that's what commandos do. They travel around the world. Yeah. Zoe, someone's trying to have sex with me on our live chat. Of course. How do we choose the subject of your EPs? How far out do you plan? Oh, David, you'd be shocked at how far out we don't plan. So by all means, just you send us a message. Tell us some now. Yeah, we take lots of suggestions, and wait under the door. Yeah, you can email us. I think Zoe's just popped our email address up in this feed. For one thing, yeah, we get a lot of story ideas from listeners, lots, and we do follow them up. And if they're possible, we do them. So yeah, we're very grateful for those. Good Lord, Ms. says 666. My friend was in a hotel in London and woke up to a man in her room. He'd been given the key by reception and checked into her room by mistake. Yes, they were both terrified. I think that's what happened to me that time, yeah. Yes, Shana, I really enjoy the podcast, especially the lesser known cases. They're the ones we like as well, because we feel like, there's a lot of cases that just get done over and over and over again. And so we want to keep it interesting for you, keep it interesting for ourselves, but also give the other people, other families a go. A lot of people approach us because they say, we Noah's been interested in our case for a very long time, and we want to get our story out there again. So, yes, we like those stories too. Even if they're solved, sometimes people, for whatever reason, still want to tell their story again. Maybe there's a parole hearing, or for whatever reason, they just want to tell their story again. I mean, look at, Brian and Carmel, as you're saying there, the ripple effect, and as we always talk about, it's what comes next. Like, this goes on for families forever. And so Brian and Carmel's story is a classic example of, the stories that just keep going on and on, right? So, they're the stories that we like to tell. Baby Jake, yeah, definitely. So, yes, for those of you who don't know, and it's in the older episode that I put up last week as well, where Charlie talks us through the whole Frankston serial killer case. So one of the women who was murdered had a 12-week-old baby at home, and that's Jake, baby Jake, who's obviously now an adult and has had a very troubled life. I know that he spoke a little bit to the media last year, and he's spoken to Vicky Petratus a bit. I think he lives in Adelaide. I think he tries to keep a low profile. But yeah, I'll definitely talk to Vicky about that. Obviously, I don't want to, cramp his style, but I definitely will speak to Vicky about that. The Jill Marr case, again, I mean, it's been covered so thoroughly. I don't know what we could possibly add to it. The documentary, Renee, I don't know if you've seen the documentary that the ABC made. It's so good. It's one of the best documentaries about an investigation I've ever seen. I think it's on Netflix, actually. I can't remember what it's called, but Ron's in it. Everyone's in it, and it's really, really good documentary. Did you go to Pentridge not long ago? Did Chopper come and say hi? No, but I did go to Pentridge, but Chopper didn't come and say hi. But the other day I was at the airport, Melbourne Airport, and there was this guy who works there. Have you ever seen him? You'd know if you had. He is at the X-ray machines, and I'm coming through with my bag, and I look up and I could think to myself, shit, that guy looks like Chopper. And I'm not saying anything because, of course, they're checking my bag for explosives like they do every time I go through there. And that's fine. And so I'm just standing there thinking, Jesus, that guy looks so much like Chopper. And sure enough, one of his workmates goes, oh, anyway, Chopper reckons. So they call him Chopper. So everyone knows he looks so much like Chopper. Unbelievable. He could be Chopper's twin. The Dingo case. Do you mean the original Dingo case? Azaria? That one? Or the one that was on TV the other night? Yeah, I know what you mean about Denya looking at parole over the next couple of years. I just don't see how that could ever happen, Christy. I just don't see how that could ever happen. I just don't see how I really think you could lose an election if that happened. I really do. You know what I mean? I think the Premier could lose an election if you let that happen. I just don't think they'd do it. I like to think they wouldn't anyway. It was wonderful, wasn't it wonderful to be able to help the Russells? Beautiful people. To help fund to start a health victims fund. Nicole Bauer says maybe we can put an extra amount in the Patreon to go into a help victims fund. I understand what you're saying, Nicole, and it's a great idea, but I think you would find, it's a sort of an endless thing, I know what we found when we started raising money for victims of sexual abuse by clergy. So quickly it just becomes overwhelming. The need just becomes overwhelming. And we had $200,000 that we raised. And we just realised it's just nowhere near enough. And then the Premier matched it. But he matched it because we had decided to donate the 200,000 that we had, or what was left after the men. Shush, Bowie. After the men went to Rome, which was the original idea, but that only cost 50. So what we decided to do was to fund an extra counsellor in Ballarat, because we decided that that was the most necessary thing. That was the thing that would support the entire community, you know, because at that stage there was like a 3-month waiting list for people to get to see a counsellor in Ballarat, and people were literally killing themselves in that interim. And new victims who were coming forward. And yes, so then at that point I approached the Premier and asked him to match it, and he agreed. So then we had like $300,000 or $400,000, and that is still funded, that counsellor in Ballarat. So, you know, you kind of got to pick a thing, unfortunately. You know, just having a fund for victims is like needle in a haystack kind of stuff, you know. Yeah. Did I hear about the North Korea executions post-Trump visit? No, my lordy. No, I did not. I've read a few books, though, about North Korea that are pretty terrifying. Anthony, off topic slightly, will I do more nitty-gritty episodes? Yes, I know, I must. I'm thinking about doing them just for patrons as well. I don't know if that would be interesting to patrons. I don't know. But yes, definitely on the cards. Oh, wonderful. My favourite episode was the one with the guy who was in the SOG. What does that stand for again? I know who you mean. Doug. Yeah, I always forget. What is Special Operations Group? Yes, Special Operations. Yes, he was fabulous with his son. Yes. Okay, and you would like to have another episode. Okay, cool. Yes, good one. Whatever happened to the lovely old lady from the jewellery shop, Elaine? Yes, I will check in with Elaine again. Now, Elaine and I texted each other at Easter, I think, was the last time I spoke to Elaine. Yes, I will check in with her again. Do I have a favourite episode we've released? I always say the Sally Ann Huckstep episode. It's definitely one of my faves, just because I just grew great affection for Sally Ann. But lots, and most recently, of course, Brian and Carmel. It was a real joy to meet them. Beautiful people, just lots of beautiful people we've met. Derek Hand would be a great interview. He lives where I live, Port Macquarie, and was the state coroner for Anita Cobby. Wow, Michael Hutchinson, many others. Yes, I would. Did he write the book? Is he the guy who wrote the book? Yeah, I would love to talk to him. Yeah, ever since I did those couple of weeks at the coroners and the forensics place here in Melbourne, I've been really into it, right into it. I could look into Fiona Barnett's story. That's fascinating, Australian true crime. Okay. I love the episodes with Narelle. Yes, Casey, but Narelle's getting very busy. She's doing a lot of live stuff now. Yes, The Coroner. Yeah, he wrote the book, The Coroner. Yes, I've read the book. Excellent. It's hard to hear people when they're on the phone. Yes. Okay, well, yes. Andy, who is my editing teacher, reckons that he has some tricks. Bowie, that's some naughtiest dog. Naughty. He has some tricks, and so I'm going to work on that with him this week, actually. What do we have to do to get me and Emily on the Goldie for a talk? Just pay us, mate. Just pay us. It's not hard. Hayley Johnson says, my favourite episode was the young lady who sought out her own cold case file and had her attacker prosecuted years later. God, yes. And then, mind you, went back to study to become a social worker. Yes. Remember that? Still studying. Yes, still doing very, very well. Still comes along to our events. Yes, wonderful. Yeah, brilliant. Kia ora. Kia ora, Louis. Cute. Kia ora, Kaz. Narelle's PTSD app was my favourite. Such an insight. Yes, we have another female former copper coming up on the show as well. Another PTSD survivor. Gosh, it's hard. No. Narelle did definitely talk about a show on the ABC. She's definitely part of a project at the ABC, but these things take a long time. So yes, we'll check in with her again about that. Yes, Casey, the brave lady who spoke up about what happened to her at age 7. Yes, that's who we're talking about. Who is studying to be a social worker as we speak and doing very, very well. Yeah. Isn't it a nice community we have? It's nice, isn't it? Yeah, it's very nice. Is Narelle's TV show on yet? No, not even being made yet. These things take a long time. They take such a long time from, someone's great idea and someone saying, yeah, definitely, let's do that, to actually making it and getting it on TV. It's just, I don't know why it takes such a long time, but I don't know. It seems like such a no-brainer, right? She's so great. Chuck her on. I don't know why. Maybe if we can think of a format with Grant Denyer on it as well, it will happen faster. I don't know. Oh, Gail's coming to see Narelle next Saturday. Awesome. Hopefully we'll get to meet her. Hopefully. Yeah, look, if she's not too tired. I think she, more than anyone, is more likely to be hanging around afterwards to say hi. Bless her. There will be a lot of people there, though, so hopefully you will get to see her. So good to see so many interested in here. You make us feel so welcome. Thank you so much, Nicole. Back at you. It is nice. It is very nice. Yeah, I'd rather be here and chatting with you, and it's so nice to have people be able to talk back, isn't it? It reminds me of when I was a kid and my parents and grandparents would say, one day we'll be able to talk back to people on the television. And I'd think, do you reckon I could talk back to aggro? That'd be amazing. And here we are. An episode using psychics. Well, it's funny you should say that, actually, because I've been chatting with this psychic, not in a psychic, not in a professional sense, but a British woman who I heard on the radio here in Melbourne last time she was here. I can't even remember why I contacted her. Something about her segment I really liked, and I contacted her to see if I could chat with her, and then she was going back, and so we've chatted a bit, and she's coming back to Melbourne. So yeah, maybe. It's a tricky one because police never admit to using psychics. Psychics always swear that they have worked with police. Police always swear they never have. I must ask, we must ask Ron and Narelle and Charlie, actually, because they'll tell us the truth, won't they? Yeah. It's not Lisa Williams Wilkinson. I was going to say it's not Lisa Wilkinson either, but it's not Lisa Williams. No, that's not the psychic. No, it's not. I'll dig it up. I've got an email there from her again. I'll dig it out. I love this forum. Having adult convos with similar interests while sitting in trackies, slurping wine. Not bloody bad at all, says Christy. Well done. What are some podcasts you're listening to at the moment? Well, I always listen to Andrew Rules, of course. I've been listening to The Lady Vanishes. Love it. In fact, I'm going to be on The Lady Vanishes. I'm so excited. I hope I was allowed to say that. I hope I haven't just wrecked it by saying that. But I really love it. I'm excited about that. Yes, Ron's podcasts, of course, that go along with his show. What else? Let's have a look. I've got my phone here. Let's have a look on my app. Library. Monsters Who Murder. Conversations. Always listen to that. They Walk Among Us, the British one. Have you ever listened to that? It's really good. In fact, they have a book which they have sent us because we often swap ads with them. Okay, here it is. They Walk Among Us, the book. And they sent one for me and one for Emily. And it's really good. I'm assuming it's for sale in Australia, or it will be. Yeah, really good, some of the cases they've covered. So it's a very good podcast. Yeah. And there's this other one I love. I think it's called The Vanished. Yeah, The Vanished. And it's missing, people who are missing, American podcast. And it's sort of quite similar format to ours. And I like it. It's most people are on the phone, which doesn't bother me. I know it really bothers some people when all the interviews are on the phone. It doesn't bother me. They're really good stories, really good interviews, and they're just mysterious. Some of them it's pretty obvious what's happened, but a lot of them it's not, and yeah, just good yarns. Yes, you can borrow it, Steph, no dramas. I don't know Crime Junkie. No, Hayley, what's Crime Junkie? I don't know that one. What do I think happened to Marion? Good convo. Oh, Catherine. I think somebody else came home. What do you think? I don't think that was her accessing her money. I don't think that was her. I think she met a man and either went away with him or met him over there. I think there was a man involved in the whole changing the name and going away. But I don't think that was Marion accessing her account in Byron Bay. Yeah, I think there's foul play. I have to say. What do you think? Yeah, Who the Hell is Hamish was awesome. It was great. Is it weird to be so into true crime? Me and at least 3 of my friends are, says Matt. I don't think so. I think they're just amazing stories, don't you think? Always amazing stories of human extremes and oftentimes human resilience, but just human extremes, passion. Yeah, I just think they're amazing stories. That is why we're all here, says Steph. You're really asking the wrong crowd. Matt, you're asking the wrong room, dude. Case file 2, of course, Shana. Yes. What was the case that got me into true crime? God, I don't know. I couldn't remember. I just remember. I don't remember what would have been my first one. Maybe it was even something like Helter Skelter or something like that. You know, it would have been like it would have been one of those big ones. I would have picked up a book about one of those really huge crime cases, and then I really enjoy the investigation. I think I enjoy reading about how investigators figure stuff out. That's my favourite part of true crime. Yeah, definitely. Any Tassie stories in the works? No. Good question. You're right. We need to really get looking into Tassie. Gosh, what an oversight. Yeah. A Shout from the Long Grass podcast. It's about Ned Kelly by Vic Police. Oh, wow. What a good one. Great. It was Helter Skelter for you too, Claire. Yeah. Fred West was what popped my true crime cherry, says Steph. Do you know what, Steph? It might have been even mine too. Yeah. It would have been around that time for sure. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That was a big one. Thank you, Azza. Love you too. Black Dahlia, of course. Black Dahlia was a massive one. Maybe it's one of those things, depends on how old you were and what was the big story, you know? I know a lot of people of a certain age are just obsessed with the Black Dahlia, aren't they? And a lot of people are obsessed with Helter Skelter, and I think you're right. I think Rosamund and Fred West, I was a teenager and that one just blew my mind. Jack the Ripper, yes, Ashley, because I love the history, the historical context. And I was just reading a book about the victims that's brilliant. It's called The Five. I think I put it in the newsletter because no one's ever written about the victims before. Everyone always writes about Jack and who he is, and I don't care. I don't care if it's the mental Polish guy or the artist, or I don't care. I'm just really interested in that period in history. It's so brutal. And those women just eking out an existence in that tough town, you know? I'm really interested in that time and place, and this is a really good book about it. Probably been asked before, Michelle, but do you know the anonymous case file guy? I do not. I do not, Matt. No, I'm as fascinated as anyone. Anthony says, my dad had a huge book about true crime. So many different stories. I remember Bonnie and Clyde. Wow, what a great story, huh? Louis says, apparently he was a royal, Jack the Ripper. Yeah, that's the one my mum loves. My mum loves the idea that he was the Duke or whatever it was, the nephew of the Queen or something, yeah. The Lost Girls, isn't it so good, that book about Carly and Candelise? Oh, God, that was a really, yeah. I'm going to say I liked that episode, but, you know what I mean by that. I mean, it was just heartbreaking, wasn't it? I like that someone's written a book about them and that, got their story out. I like that they're not lost anymore, and I like that they were found and reunited, and oh gosh, yeah, that was tough listening, Steph. Yeah, the Moore murders. Absolutely. Oh my God, that book about Myra Hindley that was written not long ago. Well, I'm going to say that, it might be 10 years ago, would it be? Wow. That's a hard read too, because Jesus. Yeah. Alan Cook was the night caller of Fremantle. I don't know about that. Edgar Allan Cook. Okay. Oh, thank you, Hayley. Yes, we do try. But I think, I think that's kind of the go these days, isn't it? Which is good. These days in crime and true crime, it's the go to be focused on victims and victims' families rather than perpetrators. Thank God. And Jack the Ripper, the Jack the Ripper case and fascination is just the worst example, isn't it, in history of the fixation with the perpetrator and complete lack of interest in the victims, Like the woman who wrote this book is saying that it was really hard for her to find any information on the victims because even at the time, the newspapers weren't even interested in them at the time. They were like, I don't know, some prostitute, I don't know. But who's Jack, So yeah, she's done a lot of research and she's pieced together what she could. Oh, that's nice. Gail says, Vicky Petraeus is my idol. Love her and her writing. The Frankston murders is what did it for me 26 years ago. Yeah. And again, talk about focus on victims and families, huh? Yeah. It would be cool if Narelle was available for a Saturday night Q&A. After the Saturday night show, she will definitely do a Q&A as part of that as well. Don't stress. Definitely. I think Narelle's a bit like me. It's hard to ignore people when they're there. So she'll definitely be chatty. Don't worry. There's a show called Wicked Attraction: Couples Who Murder. Oh, when it comes to couples who murder, I always think about that Canadian couple, the Ken and Barbie murderers. Oh, boy. They freak me out. Oh, for here. Oh, Anthony, yes, that's a great idea. Yeah, absolutely. That is a really great idea. Yep. That is a great idea. Yeah. Yeah. A YouTube live with Narelle. Great idea. Yes. Mm-mm. The TV show called Deadly Women is very interesting too. Yes. Canadian true crime podcast have the couple. Okay. Carla Hummel, yes. Carla Homolka or something. Yes, yes, they're a Canadian Ken and Barbie couple. Ugh. And they killed her sister. Remember? Yeah, and Paul something. I know, but her name is so memorable, Carla Homolka or something. Yeah. Christy says, as you say, much affects you at different times. I was the similar age and location to Samantha Knight when she went missing. I don't remember Samantha Knight. Hey, Mary. I'm gonna have to go and put my kittens to bed shortly, guys. The little kittens, my kittens have a bedtime. It's 8:30 actually, so they're staying up a little bit late. And the girls from Teddy's team, by the way, if you want to support, if you want to support a great charity to women who just give everything they have to cats, because they're mad but they're so beautiful. Teddy's team is who I sponsor, or whatever. What do I do? Foster cats through. They can't believe that my kittens have a bedtime, but they do, and they'll just follow me into their little bedroom and they've had their dinner. They have kitten dinner at 6:00, and then it's kitten bedtime at 8:30. Their names are Mary, little Mary, Maya, Tiger, Gigi, Morgan, Denver, and Indy. That's all mummy's kittens. You want 7 cats. It's pretty great, Steph. Having 7 cats is pretty great. Thank you, Gail. Teddy's team are awesome. They're such beautiful girls. You're coming to both live podcast recordings. Excited is an understatement. Thank you, Catherine. Say hi. Let me know that it's you. Yes, Hidden Tiger loves kitties. They are so cute. The Ginger Ninjas, Steph, they've gone to bed. They just love their bed so much. That's why they're both so fat. They're so beautiful. That's Gigi and Tiger. They're very fat because they just eat their kitten cans and go to bed. Yeah, they're very beautiful. I'm sorry I talk like an idiot when I talk like about kittens. Chapel of Chapel, cool. I don't have any more tickets to Ron, but do you know, Gail, that we are doing shows at the Yarraville Club in October? Are you aware of that? And Ron is doing one of those. So if you Google, and I didn't want to, we don't have any links up at the moment because we wanted to give everyone a break and not make you feel like we're just selling things all the time. But we'll put them up shortly. But I think they're actually on sale already. So I think, Anthony, do you know what? Other live shows being recorded for future episodes or for Patreon? I don't know. What do you think? Should they just be for Patreon? Or should they be for everyone? I don't know. I waver. And yes, we will go around the country, Renee, with live shows. Charlie Bazina is doing the, so many questions all of a sudden. Charlie is doing a show in Yarraville with us in October. If you don't come to Frankston, I'll go to Yarraville. Gail, you better come to Yarraville because I don't know when we're going to make it to Frankston. Steph, yeah, we've got to get you to a live episode for sure. Should we do it for Patreon, Ashley? Okay. Podcast on Jaden Lesky, Renee. Yes. Good idea. In fact, I really wanted to do an episode with Belinda, Jaden's mum, and I remember talking to Megan Norris about it, who's done a few episodes, with us, because Megan has interviewed Belinda a number of times, and they, I think, still have, a relationship. And Megan, I think Megan said that, Belinda just really wants to keep a low profile and has, has a family, and but I would like to do that. Sad story. Could stream on YouTube and we could join in. Which bit, Steph? Which bit? A live episode. Hang on. Oh, yes, a live episode. I mean, I thought about that, but, a live podcast episode. Yeah, I've thought about it. I have thought about it. But you've got to understand how much I edit. like, like, it might not live up to your expectations, put it that way. It might not be as smooth as you imagine. Uh, okay. But the other thing is I was thinking, wouldn't it be nice if we could somehow have like certain, great friends of the show like you guys be guests? Do you know what I mean? Like you could Skype in and you could be a special guest interviewer. These are the things I think about. How can we do that? How can we give you a chance to be involved? So yes, these are the things I think about. These are the things I think about. Yes, that would be cool, huh? Be awesome. Yeah, people might be too reserved. Yeah, I know what you mean, shy. Yeah, I know, but some might not be. People are. You just never know with people. Sarah McDermott, I'm working on it hardcore, Gail. Yes, I know what you mean. Yes, I know what you mean. Is that another Dania victim? And you're not alone in thinking that. And there are certainly some high-profile investigators who think that. That was a Ron Iddles case, and so I've tried a couple of times to get Ron to talk about it, and he's reluctant for some reason. But I'll keep working on that. And you're right. Yeah, I must find out who worked on Jade and Lesky. You're right. Who? Yeah, Tammy. I must ask around. Yeah, good question. Even just sitting in on a recording, says Steph. Yeah, we've got to work something out. Nicole says bloopers. Our bloopers are pretty sad. They're not funny. They're not funny. They're just sad. Ron's very emotional, says Gail. He is, but also Ron still has a lot of irons in the fire. That's what you got to know about Ron. So Ron is retired in name only. So sometimes when you ask Ron questions, or he just you realize that he's still got something going. I think he's still got something going with that. So he won't talk about it, or he certainly won't talk about it publicly or whatever. So Charlie's a bit the same. So yes. Thank you. Is it Nieri? How do I pronounce that beautiful name? I hope Patreon is going well for you. Look, it's going pretty well. Yeah, thank you. It's pretty amazing to think that anybody would just choose to, pay for things. It's sort of it's funny how the world's going, isn't it? In some ways it's going crook, but in other ways it's bringing out generosity in people. So, it's pretty amazing. Sent you an email about Madison Murphy West case. It's a murder made to look like a suicide. It would be a good episode if you look into the details of it, says Rebecca. Okay, Rebecca. All right. Bowie, naughtiest dog in all of Altona. You might have to email me again, Rebecca. I'm so sorry to say that to you, but could you? Please? And I'll look into that again. Bonnie Clark, another one of Ron's. Okay. What's the difference between a $5 patron and a $2 patron? The $5 patrons get the free episodes. That's the difference, basically. I've been listening for my name on the podcast like a sado. Have I never said your name, Steph? Good Lord. All right, I'll rectify that. Yeah, okay, Hayley. Yeah, we'll do something. I'm always looking for ways to, make Patreon better, more exciting, more worth it, just feel more special. So yes, chuck me your ideas. Oh, Steph. Chuck me your ideas, and yeah, I'm definitely down for it. Will we be live next week due to having that? No, we won't be. I won't be here next week. I'll be live on stage next week with Narelle. I can't remember what time we go on stage. I think it's 7:30. So we'll actually be on stage. Yeah. So otherwise I would have done a quickie backstage with Narelle, but nah, we'll be right in the middle of it. So no, week after. All right. Well, now, look, I better go. Thanks, Gail. Better go. I've got kittens. Just need to get to their little tiny beds, and children, would you believe? So thank you so much. It's been really great. Everybody who has episode ideas, please email them to us. There's wonderful. Thank you, Zoe. Zoe's put the email address up there. Just about 3 weeks ago, we really went back through all of those show suggestions with a fine-tooth comb, and we pulled out some crackers, and we got in touch with people and recorded, and it was really good sesh. So please bring them to us. We love them. Thank you, everyone, so much. Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. Hopefully Emily won't be blowing the whistle out there somewhere for the basketball. Thank you very much, everyone. It's really fun. It's so nice. So nice to have a cup of tea and chat with some grown-ups with my little baby kitties around. All right. Take care out there. Don't get murdered in every sense. That's homage. Not copying anybody. Just think it's really great. All the best for next week's lives. Thank you. All the best to all of you. Stay safe. Have fun out there. Just do your best. Just all of us do our bests. Teddy's team, if you like kittens. And good episode on Thursday. Really good one. Bit of a parole. Look, there's a parole coming up that you might want to know about. That's all I'm going to say. Particularly if you're in Tasmania, by the way. That's all I'm going to say.